So, how you folks doing? Uh, I really need somebody's opinion on this because I've been doing it again. I've been thinking about religion, God, the whole thing that we're currently engulfed in. So, uh, for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards the preterist view of religion. So, there's a lot of people that believe Bark of the Beast. They're looking for the Antichrist. They're looking for the man of perdition. Uh, but I don't think that really is going to happen unless there's some type of mega disaster around the world, and really we get this crazy, sadistic, satanic leader that nobody could stop. Well, I don't really believe that's going to happen. But if you go back in history, the Roman Empire, when they fell, the Decian persecution of the Christians, the whole plague of Justinian, the sun going out in 536 for 18 months, where half of the world died from starvation, and then right after that, in 541, the Justinian plague started. They got some reports of some wild men coming off a boat, going up into a hill, screaming, hollering, naked, and they ate each other on the hill. They cannibalized each other up there. And then right after that, just instantaneously, all the poor died in one day. In one day, all of the poor died. And the rich and the wealthy buried them in a Christian way. And then right after that, all of the rich started dying left and right. They had these big things that grew on them in their neck and in their groins, under their armpits, on their thighs, and then these things started getting really big and filling with infection and pus. And there was a lot of reports of people screaming and having delusions of demons chasing them, demons doing all kind of horrible things, and they contributed to the disease that they contracted. They're like, oh, these people are having delusions, because of the infection or the sickness or whatever. But I mean, it sounds like, an end time world thing. So there was this in Ephesus, John of Ephesus. He was a bishop in the church of Ephesus. And he has this whole thing, because he was an eyewitness to the whole thing. And he says it right in there. In his writings, if I didn't see it, with my own eyes, I would say it was a conspiracy or a lie. This man absolutely claims this out of his own mouth. It is amazing. Just search it up, do the research. John of Ephesus, during the plague of Justinian. Amazing. But don't just watch one, documentary that just once overs it. You gotta really get deep, and you gotta read the actual eyewitnesses on the ground. And John of Ephesus says that there was no one left to bury the dead. They were in the streets. There was nobody to till the farms. Everything was overgrown. There was nobody left, and the people was rotting in the streets, and the pus and the blood was rolling down the streets and going into the ocean. all of the pus and the blood and the body fluids was literally rushing into the ocean like a river. This man explains this, and it's amazing. And it's funny, you don't hear, nobody tells you these things. People who's waiting for a rapture, a secret rapture, they do not want to hear these things. They do not want to consider it. They do not want, because if it's not in the Bible, it's not valid for them. History is not valid. The sun going out, which is scientifically proven all around the world. There's people that wrote about this from one end of the world to the other. The sun went out, people, for 18 months, and nobody tells you these things. So you can imagine what would happen if we lost the sun for 18 months. Literally half of the population died. And right after that, the crazy, horrible disease hit. Literally 99 people out of 100 died. So, and everything was buried with this crazy Tartarian mud flood thing that went on. Why is everything buried 20 to 30 feet under the ground? But 200 years after Jesus was resurrected, all these places was populated. They were the centers of the world. The whole world was there. There was millions of people. There was industry, shipping, merchants, textiles, builders. It was a whole world system. Just 200 years after the resurrection of Jesus, it was still the same way. So I don't really buy the Dark Ages. I don't really buy that nothing happened during the 1,000 year reign of Christ, right? Nothing happened. Zero. There was no history, nothing interesting. Of course, because population was depleted. Didn't start getting better till the time of King Charlemagne, around the 700s, and then everything went Christian. All the kingdoms of the world was under Christ, and if you didn't believe in Christ, well, you got dealt with the rod of iron. That was with the sword. So Jesus was supposed to rule with the sword for 1,000 years. And the Catholic Church pretty much fulfilled all of that. Because if you didn't believe in Jesus Christ, they came, they took your property, they took your wife, they took your children, they took your cattle, they took everything you had. Because you were a witch, or you're a pagan, or you're evil, or you're the son of the devil, or this way or that way. And then you got Martin Luther in the 1500s, the great reformer. I used to think that guy changed everything and it was great, and then we had this whole, Baptists, we had the Calvinists, we had the whole dismantling of the Catholic Church, separation of church and state, where, God has nothing to do with our reality anymore. But if you take it from, the cave of treasures, the first book of Adam and Eve, where God told Adam that he's going to be in the cave of treasures for 5.5 days until the end of the world, which matches up perfectly with the plague of Justinian. That was exactly 6,000 years from the time of Adam to the plague of Justinian was 6,000 years, and that was the last day God worked. He's been resting for a whole day, because on the seventh day he rests, right? And we are 7,500 years from the time of Adam to the time of now. We're halfway through the rest of God, because he rests on the seventh day, and we're at 7,500 years. So do we still have another 500 years before we start over for a new day? Do we still have 500 years to see what man will do when God rests? So, when the cat's away, the mouse will play, But tell me what you think. Because this is just It's just mind-boggling to me, and how nobody else could, you know, I literally have nobody to speak to about this, because when I do bring it up to people, it goes so far over their head that I look like a psychopath, and they start asking me, "Van, are you okay? You don't believe in the rapture? You don't believe in Jesus Christ? You don't believe in what are you talking about?" Man, no. Could you hear the words that I'm telling you? This doesn't seem right. This is not right, and they're, we've been lied to. They are lies being told. And everybody seems to be perfectly comfortable with all of this. And I don't really understand, why are you so comfortable with no answers? And it really doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking into it too deeply. Or maybe the rest of the world is not doing their job. Or maybe I'm just a psychopath. Because I'm surrounded by a lot of people that think I'm a psychopath for having these questions, for having these theories. But when you read the Bible and you really look at it from our time, not from their time. I mean, it's pretty much all past, and I could be wrong though. I'm not sure. You tell me what you think.